from the pot-bellied jar. Find an ancient pot-bellied jar buried in the sand. Rub its sides to clear the dust and uncork it to release a genie. When the genie offers you 3 wishes, tell him you will think on it. Meanwhile, ask the genie about his own life in those thousands of years gone by. Stories of the ancient sunlit times and the days of legend. As the genie settles next to you, you listen, and the 2 of you sip tea and share secrets while the years again pass by. When your first gray hairs appear, tell the genie you no longer need 3 wishes granted, only 1. And then spend the remaining days of your lifetime deciding on that 1 wish. In the end, you thank the genie, and with your last and only wish, you set him free. He did grant you, after all, exactly what was unasked. Hi everyone, this is Vera Nazarian, and I'm coming to you live, pre-recorded, for TADCon 2024 To Atlantis and Back, our virtual convention. The 5th one this year, not this year, but the 5th one this, every year. So this is really exciting, and I'm recording this for you, and I'm going to be reading from another book. It's not the Atlantis Grail, but it's the Perpetual Calendar of Inspiration. And I'm going to share with you what this is, because it's kind of an unusual book. Okay, this is a calendar. It's actually a diary you can write in, and it has thoughts, short stories, fables, kind of pithy sayings, and for every day of the year, 365, and actually 356, because 66, because this is supposed to be a perpetual calendar of every day of a possible year. And this is kind of what it looks like. What I read to you was one of the entries. It's called From the Pot-Bellied Jar, and it's for November 4th. And this gives you a place to write underneath. See how it says, I think it says dream or explore. What does it say? I can't see. Daydream. And on this side, it says thought. And this is another entry, masquerade. So every single day of the year, it has some also illustrations and just places for you to write your thoughts down. So every single one is an entry. And it starts with, of course, calendar being day 1. Let's see if I can open that up to you for day 1. There we go. And off you go. And what you can do is use this as an actual diary. The Perpetual Calendar of Inspiration, it's a collection of my quotes. Every single thing in here is something that I wrote. And it originally was posted on my blog called Inspired Us. At first, the blog was inspired.us, as in US, but then I lost that domain and I restarted it. So unfortunately, the actual blog location right now is inspiredus.com. So I had to switch because the .us was no longer like somebody's domain squatting, basically. So I can't buy that back. But it doesn't matter, because what I did is I collected years worth of quotes and sayings from my blog into this book. And this was released in 2010. So this is a pretty old book. That's like 14 years old right now. And it comes in paperback or hardcover, whichever you prefer to write on. And just to kind of give you an idea, it's a nice glossy, this is a case laminated hardcover. So it doesn't have a jacket on because it's a diary. And so it gives you, like I said, a place to read, to put down your thoughts. And there's a lot of stuff in here. I'm going to be reading to you some of the select ones, which I think they're fun because they're fables. They are short pieces. Some of them are like punchy 1-2 liners and so on. But I'm just going to start reading to you randomly. And I marked some of my favorites here for you so I don't have to, flip through the whole calendar. So let's go ahead and just do a random, like a read. And how about, let's give you this one. Okay. January 31st, Lavender Crescent. When hope is fleeting, stop for a moment and visualize in a sky of silver the crescent of a lavender moon. Imagine it, delicate, slim, precise, like a paper-thin slice from a cabochon jewel. It may not be very useful, but it is beautiful. And sometimes it is enough. March 20, the desert and the ocean. The desert and the ocean are realms of desolation on the surface. The desert is a place of bones where the innards are turned out to desiccate and to dust. The ocean is a place of skin, rich outer membranes hiding thick, juicy insides, laden with the soup of being. Inside out and outside in. These are worlds of things that implode or explode, and the only catalyst that determines the direction of eco-movement is the balance of water. Both worlds are deceptive, dangerous, both seething with hidden life. The only veil that stands between perception of what is underneath the desolate surface is your courage. Dare to breach the surface and sink. March 26th, infectious thing. Infectious thing. Yawns are not the only infectious things out there besides germs. Giggles can spread from person to person. So can blushing. But maybe the most powerful infectious thing is the act of speaking the truth. The Secret of Intuition, April 11. What is intuition? It is not a thing of esoteric forces. No magic is involved, nothing supernatural. No elusive mystery of extra senses. Neither is it a bag of parlor trick illusions or smoke and mirrors. Intuition is nothing more than the ability to see smaller things and draw finer connections from the raw matter of the world around you. Indeed, intuition is micro-logic, the kind of logic that is so fine-tuned in its pathways of semantic connections that it seems to escape the rest of your own, much cruder macro senses, and is thus mislabeled as irrelevant. Its basis is so refined that it appears invisible. Logical subtlety is at the root of intuition. Subtlety armed with finely honed senses that you already possess. It is an acquired skill. As such, it is a force to be reckoned with. For intuition is a razor-sharp surgical tool for gauging the truth. Storyteller's Secret, May 31st. I'll tell you a secret. Old storytellers never die. They disappear into their own story. The difference between love and passion, June 10. Passion makes you vulnerable. Love makes you vulnerable, and hence strong. Wisdom and Beauty, June 12. Why is wisdom so fair? Why is beauty so wise? Because all else is temporary, while beauty and wisdom are the only real and constant aspects of truth that can be perceived by human means. And I don't mean the kind of surface beauty that fades with age, or the sort of shallow wisdom that gets lost in platitudes. True beauty grips your gut and squeezes your lungs and makes you see with utmost clarity exactly what is before you. True wisdom then steps in to interpret, illuminate, and form a life-altering insight. Wise Marriage, June 30th. Wisdom is nothing more than the marriage of intelligence and compassion. And as with all good unions, it takes much experience and time to reach its widest potential. Have you introduced your intellect to your compassion yet? Be careful. Lately, intellect has taken to eating in front of the TV, and compassion has taken it in too many stray cats. Abilities, September the 2nd. A great ancient poet was blind. A great classical composer was deaf. Many of us are dumb. What have we to show for it? September 8th. Love Potion. Once upon a time, a young man obtained a magic love potion and gave it to the young woman he loved. The next day, she left him. Don't worry about either one of them. September 21st, a long time ago. A long time ago, people believed that the world is flat and the moon is made of green cheese. Some still do to this day. The man on the moon is looking down and laughing. The Hourglass, September 27. The sand in the hourglass runs from one compartment to the other, marking the passage of moments with something constant and tangible. If you watch this flowing sand, you might see time itself riding the granules. Contrary to popular opinion, time is not an old white-haired man, but a laughing child. And time sings. October the 4th, October moon. Something wonderful happens to the moon in October. First, it grows plump and yellow, transforming into a juicy peach. Then into a bright orange pumpkin, great and fat and ripe like the last harvest. The full moon floats in the cooling sky that has lost the last of its bright summer blue and can only display the indigo and silver grays. The season of depth has arrived. Time to turn inward. October 8th. Some puzzles. Not every puzzle is intended to be solved. Some are in place to test your limits. Others are in fact not puzzles at all. Same page. Teacher, October 9th. Don't waste your life looking for a wise teacher to help you to deal with things you don't know. Instead, teach others the things that you know. October 20th, wise cliches. What's wrong with cliches? A cliche is something that was once powerfully exciting, good and true, but with excessive use has lost its meaning. Your eyes are like stars is no longer as meaningful as it was the first time around ages ago when some inspired lover used the phrase. And yet, because of their original power, cliches still serve an important role. They are non-threatening comfort food for the imagination, a beloved fount of familiarity. Conjuring easily evocative images, they facilitate understanding and therefore speed up communication. And sometimes it is more important to be simple, to come across precisely and make basic sense, than to say something flashy, impressive, and incomprehensible in an exciting new way. Don't be afraid of cliches. Common wisdom is milking a cliche for all it's worth, but without annoying anyone. If you want to be heard and understood, maintain a fine balance of cliches and new terms in your conversation. October 23rd, innocence. Innocence is often confused with simple ignorance, with naivete or unawareness and unfamiliarity with the facts of life. Instead, true innocence is a complex state of mind that follows extensive and difficult experience and yet acknowledges the eternal possibility of good despite knowing the full extent of darkness present in reality. Innocence is the secret attribute of wisdom. Same page, October 22nd, the point of light. The star is a tiny point of light in the deep that is the night heavens. Its distant neighbors are more distant than the farthest thing on earth we know. This star is surrounded by an infinite number of other stars in a stream of light that is the galaxy. The galaxy is a point of light, and its closest neighbors are other galaxies in a cluster. The galactic cluster is a point of light, forming a sea of membranes and strings wound and coiled inward and outward. The strings and membranes recede into a point of light that is but one in a shower of the sparks hitting the grate of your fireplace. You blink. October 31st, darkness and radiance. The autumn wind blows numbing cold, and twilight paints the evening indigo. The orange carved pumpkin sits on the windowsill, grinning like the moon's strange cousin, and its teeth are flames. Don't be afraid. You carry your own heat inside you, and it is stronger than anything. In the closing darkness, radiate this sunflower golden warmth and put the jack-o'-lantern to shame. Oopsie, we got something stuck here. November 1st, sugar and salt. Neither sugar nor salt tastes particularly good by itself. Each is at its best when used to season other things. Love is the same way. Use it to season people. November the 2nd, your voice. A choir is made up of many voices, including yours and mine. If one by one all go silent, then all that will be left are the soloists. Don't let a loud few determine the nature of the sound. It makes for poor harmony and diminishes the song. Register, vote. Pleasure, a streetlight. November 3rd, same page. There is something indescribable about a streetlight against the backdrop of night, especially in winter. Its light is cool, unlike the sun, and the bulb casts a soft glow around it, fading gently into the darkness. If there is a snowfall, every white snowflake reflects the streets like a prism, and as you watch each lamp in passing, it seems a rainbow appears in its glowing corona. There is magic here. The streetlights are captured moons, lined up for your personal illumination. Their encasing glass must not be broken, otherwise they will flee upward into the sky. Urban unicorn, November the 22nd. The unicorn flickers in and out of your field of vision. It is white or possibly steel. Watch from the corner of your eye as it soars past the cars and the landmarks, as the streets unfold and the buildings tower. The unicorn cannot fly, but it moves faster than you can imagine, creating the illusion. No one else can see it but you, and even you may not see it again unless you feel the same moment of perfect clarity that allowed you to remember everything, to hum the perfect song and pronounce the unicorn's true name, and discover yours. The first tree, December the 9th. The first tree grew up in a forest of grass and lesser shrubs. At first it was like all the rest, and then it kept growing, rising to tower over the other vegetation. At some point it knew it was tall and different and strong. The tree, new and self-aware, defined and named itself. So must you. December 12th, Frost the architect. Frost grows on the window glass, forming world patterns of lovely translucent geometry. Breathe on the glass and you give frost more ammunition. Now it can build castles and cities and whole ice continents with your breath's vapor. In a few blinks, you can almost see the winter fairies moving in. But first, you hear the crackle of their wings. Same page, December 13th, Marriage of Elegance and Grace. What is the difference between elegance and grace? Both notions are rich with fine nuances of meaning. Elegance suggests smooth, suave, secular style, while grace hints at spiritual, even religious finesse. During the holidays, may your spirit be elegant and your state of grace be achieved in high style. December 14th, the Heartland. The heartland lies where the heart longs to be. Sometimes it takes a lifetime to find the true place to plant it. December 22nd, the Nutcracker. The Nutcracker sits under the holiday tree, a guardian of childhood stories. Feed him walnuts, and he will crack open a tale. December 28th, the Compass Rose. The compass rose is nothing but a star with an infinite number of rays pointing in all directions. It is the one true and perfect symbol of the universe. And it is the one most accurate symbol of you. Spread your arms in an embrace, throw your head back, and prepare to receive and send coordinates of being. For at last you know, you are the navigator, the captain, and the ship. Same page, December 29th, the future. Would you like to know your future? If your answer is yes, think again. Not knowing is the greatest life motivator. So enjoy, endure, survive each moment as it comes in its proper sequence. A surprise. December 30th, the bell. The great miraculous bell of translucent ice is suspended in mid-air. It rings to announce endings and beginnings. And it rings because there is fresh promise and wonder in the skies. Its clear tones resound in placid silence of the winter day and echo long into the silver-blue serenity of night. The bell can only be seen at the turning of the year when the days wind down into nothing and get ready to march out again. When you hear the bell, you feel a tug at your heart. It is your immortal inspiration. There's a few more I wanted to read and I forgot to mark them. Let's see if I can find them. Let's see, here we go. Here's one. Annoying Optimist, December 17th. People who are too optimistic seem annoying. This is an unfortunate misinterpretation of what an optimist really is. An optimist is neither naive, nor blind to the facts, nor in denial of grim reality. An optimist believes in the optimal usage of all options available, no matter how limited. As such, an optimist always sees the big picture. How else to keep track of all that's out there? An optimist is simply a proactive realist. An idealist focuses only on the best aspects of all things, sometimes in detriment to reality. An optimist strives to find an effective solution. A pessimist sees limited or no choices in dark times. An optimist makes choices. When bobbing for apples, an idealist endlessly reaches for the best apple. A pessimist settles for the first one within reach, while an optimist drains the barrel, fishes out all the apples, and makes pie. Annoying? Yes, but oh so tasty. December 20th, a reindeer tale. Once upon a time, the reindeer took a running leap and jumped over the northern lights. But he jumped too low, and the long fur of his beautiful flowing tail got singed by the rainbow fires of the aurora. To this day, the reindeer has no tail to speak of, but he is too busy pulling the important sleigh to to notice what is lost, and he certainly doesn't complain. What's your excuse? Same page, December 21st, The Wisest King. One true king knew when to step aside and give up the reins of power, to remove his crown and relinquish his kingdom, all for the sake of glimpsing, just once in a lifetime, the face of a holy child. He was the fourth to follow the star. His gift was a secret. The rest of his journey is unknown. And there are so many more in here. I could keep reading, but really, I think you should get this book and just read for yourself and use it to write down your thoughts and just things that make you happy throughout the year. And you can add, this is a multiple year thing, so you can keep adding to that same day and kind of see your progress. Like, for example, if there's a lot of room and you've had a lot of notes at one of the places, then you can come back same day next year, January 14th or whatever, and just see what you wrote down and then write something else down. Or see if you have new ideas from that the snippet of inspiration that was given to you. Because every single one of these things, as I said, from the Inspired Us blog, I was trying to write inspirational things. And by inspiration, I don't mean they're religious. They're just there to get you going. So inspiration is secular, religious, spiritual, whatever. It's all kinds of inspiration. And this perpetual calendar is a lot of fun. I know a lot of people have gotten it and they are enjoying it. So grab it right now, and this is available everywhere. If you can't, for whatever reason, you can order it from a book, have the bookstore given the ISBN, and it's up on the website. If you go to the my author website, which is veranazarian.com, it should get you there, so you will be able to find it. Or go to Amazon, do a search for the Perpetual Calendar of Inspiration. So here you go. I hope you guys enjoyed it. This is not the Atlantis Grail, but it still relates because, in fact, I think I forgot to read this one to you. I'm just going to, just because you will recognize this. See if I can find it. It's not the Atlantis Grail, but I used this one in the Atlantis Grail. So this was actually, where is it? I want to find this just because before we go. And just kind of give you. Oh, this is a good one. This is not related, but I got to read this one because we're here. July 27th, tornado and earthquake. A tornado of thought is unleashed after each new insight. This in turn results in an earthquake of assumptions. These are natural disasters that reshape the spirit. Okay, I'm still looking because I got to show you this one. This is something you will recognize as people who have read Survive. And, oh yeah, here's a different one. See, I just can't stop. I do this myself. I start reading them. This is a good one. The Bridge, August the 4th. The Bridge. Once upon a time, there were two countries at war with each other. In order to make peace after many years of conflict, they decided to build a bridge across the ocean. But because they never learned each other's language properly, they could never agree on the details. So the two halves of the bridge they started to build never met. To this day, the bridge extends far into the ocean from both sides and simply ends halfway, miles in the wrong direction from the meeting point. And the two countries are still at war. Here we go, here we go. Where are you? You're gonna love this one. One, two, three. And I'm pretty sure I even marked it, but I marked it, didn't I? Come on. Well, if I don't find it, I don't want to waste time in this thing. But if I don't find it, you can read that little snippet in Survive, because you know what it's called? No, it's not in Survive, it's in Win. It is called The Invention. And it is the same fable that Nuletat told Gwen and Bree when they were stuck inside the pyramid, and the pyramid rocks basically closed them in, and they were shut for an hour until the pyramid again rearranged itself. So the inspiration was a little story, and I'm still looking for which was told, and I decided to use it because it really fit. So I literally wrote that a long time ago, and then I decided to include it in my books. I do that sometimes. I find I find things that work for something, and I just kind of take it from my own writing and I put it back into a different piece. Come on, I can't find it. Anyway, yeah, watch this. I'll close the book and I'll show up. But anyway, inspiration, the story of the invention, that was included in Win, and it's in this one somewhere. One of the entries is the invention. So I hope you guys enjoyed, and see you at the convention, TAGCon 2024, To Atlantis and Back.